Alright, well now we're going to look at a nifty little exercise that will make sure that you know how to bind these variables. I mean that you understand the scope of these variables. Alright, so we're working with our old thing here, except we took out the star of the let, and we're going to put this back to just adding these all up together. A, B, C, A, B, X, Z, Y, Z, Y. Alright, now let's find what the answer is. 214. Alright, now to make sure that we understand where each one is, which variable each one is calling, we're going to rename these ones according to what environment they happen to be in. So let's call the environments by capital letters. So this first environment, since it's the first one, we're just going to call it capital A, and any variables within the capital A we're going to put an A colon in front of. And this doesn't functionally do anything, this is just the new name here. Now the name of this variable is A colon lowercase a. And in fact I don't think scheme is even case sensitive, so it's really just A colon A. Alright, so B is also in this first environment, so we'll go A colon B, A colon X. Alright, so then down here, this is the second environment, which is B, the environment B. So we'll call this BX. This will be BZ. This will be BY. Oops, BY. Now, which X is this? This is, remember, this is not let star, this is just let. So this X is this other X up here. That's the one it was referring to. Alright, so we change that to AX, and then this X refers to that X, so we can do AX, and then these ones, that refers to A, because that was what it referred to. This is AB. Now what about this X? Which X is it referring to, the AX or the BX? And if you remember, we thought it was referring to the BX. Alright, then Z and Y are easy because they're not in the first one at all. Okay, so this should give us the same answer of 214 if we did it right. 214. Now let's suppose we did it wrong and we did B of X. Instead of B of X we did A of X, because we thought it was referring to that one. Then now when we run it we get 212. So by doing this labeling thing you can figure out if you know where the scope is for all these things. Let me see if I've got another example I can do for you here. Alright, let's try this one. Let x2 y3, let x be lambda x plus xy. This one's a bit complicated. And y be x times 4, and then we're going to list x, y and x5. Alright, we'll run that. You don't have to think about it so much yet, let's just run it. You get 11 and 8. Alright, so what's going on here? So this is the first local bindings, and then within that body we've got this other let statement that has these other local bindings, and the only thing that makes this different really from the last example is that we've got this lambda function in here. Alright, so a lambda function is a lot like a let statement in that all these variables inside that the lambda expression takes as arguments gets bound also to kind of a local scope, a local variable binding. Let's say then, okay, so this is like its own isolated let statement almost. So the x here gets set to whatever you send it. So when you call this function x down here, let's say you call x a 5, then we're sending 5 in and we bind x to 5 in here. So this x refers to this x here. And then y, well, we'll get to that. Okay, so in this, let's do the labeling thing. So first environment a of x and a colon y. Alright, so that's the first environment. This is the second one. We're rebinding x in a new environment. So b of x and b of y. So these y's are different, of course. Now what about this? So b of x, lambda x. I told you this is its own separate little scope, little environment. So this is a brand new one. So we'll call that c of x. And so this x will look at this x here because that's its closest x that it can access. It always finds the closest binding, the most local binding. Alright, so it finds that, then it looks here, it doesn't find y inside the arguments, and so does it find this y here down there? And the answer is no, because that one hasn't been bound yet, because this is, well, even if it was a let star statement, I don't think it would be bound because I think they're evaluated in order. Alright, so this one goes up to, it looks and it finds this y up here. Alright, so what about this? Then that x right there, is it referring to this x, that x, or that x? Now it's not referring to the x inside the lambda statement because that's just its own isolated thing. It could not even get in there anyways. Alright, so what about that x? And if you recall, because this is not a let star, it's not referring to this x. Even though this x may have been evaluated already, it's referring to that x right there. So do a of x. Alright, and then list x, y. The most local x this time is this bx, which is a good thing because we're running it like a function. Because whenever you put anything at the front of a parentheses that's not a list, then of course that's a function. Well, this y, the most local y, is this by here. And then most local x again, it's the bx. We'll run that and we get 11 and 8 once more. Alright. Right, that's it.